So now I'm going to talk about trapezoidal rule, and this trapezoidal rule is an improvement over the rectangular method, and we can derive this trapezoidal rule either with the help of a Newton-Cotes rule. About that I will talk about later on, but there is a simple method also to do calculation, right? So I'm trying to derive this trapezoidal rule in a very simplified manner, and then tomorrow I will talk about that Newton-Cotes method, and using Newton-Cotes method we can derive trapezoidal rule, Simpson's 1/3 rule and Simpson's 3/8 rule. Those can also be derived using that also, but I will talk about that later on. So now again consider a same diagram. So this is the curve I am having. Let us take, this is A and this is B. This is A, this is B, and let me call it as x naught and let me call it as xn. Means I divided this region into n segments. How many segments? N segments. Like this. This is one segment. This is one. This is one segment. This is another segment. And so on, like this, and let us note down. See, it is x naught, it is x1, x2, x3, x4 and so on. It is xn minus 1, xn minus 2, xn minus 3. What I will do, I will try to find out the area under the curve, and I will use a trapezoidal. So I will make a trapezium, right? Trapezoidal means trapezium. So I will draw a trapezium. I will join these lines, these points. This is one trapezium, this is another trapezium, this is another trapezium, this is another trapezium, right? And let me let me do one thing. Let me zoom in, and then yeah, see, this is one line, this is one trapezium, this is another trapezium, this is another trapezium, this is another trapezium, and so on. See, so here little bit underestimation, little bit. But if I will use rectangular method, then what is there in that rectangular method? If I use a rectangular method, then I have to use this portion also. So that means this is the error, but here the error is very small in comparison to rectangular method. I can use this rectangle also. So that means in comparison to rectangular method, this trapezoidal rule or trapezoidal method is much more sorry, it's not in the screen. Yeah, see, if I draw this, what we call it, rectangle. So in rectangular method I have to use this, either this or this portion also. So that means underestimation or overestimation is large in case of rectangular method, but it is significantly improved when we are using a trapezoidal rule. See the difference, right? So now let us develop a formula for this. So now, what is the area of trapezium? Let me recall the area of trapezium. Area of trapezium is what? It is the 1 by 2 sum of parallel sides and perpendicular distance between them. Right? So this is the formula. So that means if I am interested to find out this area, say I am interested to find out this area of this trapezium, then this into this, there's some, and this perpendicular distance between them. And what I did, x, I did that v minus a over n is equal to h, equally spaced, right? All are equally spaced, and it can also be written as xn minus x naught by n, sorry, right? So this is h. So h is what? H is the perpendicular distance between these. And what is the length of this? This side is f of x naught and this side is f of x1. So what is the area of this first trapezium? Trapezium first is equal to 1 by 2 f of x naught plus f of x1 into h. This is the area of this trapezium. Now let me talk about the trapezium in second. Here its length is f of x1 and its length is what? F of x2. So this is the second trapezium. And what is its area? Its area is equal to 1 by 2 f of x1 plus f of x2 into h. Similarly, I can find out area of the third one and so on. Third trapezium is what? 1 by 2 f of x2 plus f of x3 and so on. And what is its area? Its area is what? Its area is 1 by 2 f of x n minus 1 plus f of x n into h. And what about its area? Its area will be what? 1 by 2 f of x n minus 2 plus f of x n into h. So let us sum up all the areas. So area under the curve is what? Sum of all these areas, right? So that means now area under the curve is nearly equal to 1 by 2 f of x naught plus f of x1 into h plus 1 by 2 f of x1 f of x2 into h plus 1 by 2 f of x2 plus f of x3 into h plus and so on 1 by 2 f of x n minus 2 plus f of x n minus 1 into h plus 1 by 2 f of x n minus 1 plus f of x n into h. So what will happen? These two things are repeating. This is also repeating, but first and last is not repeating. And h is common. 1 by 2 is common. So I can write down it as 1 by 2 or h by 2 hy2 f of x naught plus f of x1 plus f of x1 plus f of x2 f of x2 and so on, f of xn minus 1 f of xn minus 1 and plus f of xn. So these are repeating, but these two are not repeating. So I can sum up this as this is equal to h upon 2 f of x naught plus twice of f of x1 f of x2 and so on f of xn minus 1 plus f of x1 n, or it is hy2 f of x naught plus twice of I varies from 1 to n minus 1 f of xi, means I am writing it in the form of a summation. So this is the trapezoidal rule. So that means trapezoidal rule is an improvement over the rectangular method. Clear? So this is all about this method. So today I talked about this trapezoidal rule and it is the improvement over the rectangular method. Now tomorrow I will talk to you the Newton-Cotes method, and in Newton-Cotes method we will use Lagrange's interpolation formula, and using that Newton-Cotes formula we can derive every rule, whether it is a trapezoidal rule, it is a Simpson's 1/3 rule or Simpson's 3/8 rule, right? So I will talk about that, and that is also very interesting method. So that's all for today's